Hi there folks, my name's Novawing24 and welcome to another review of an FSX product. So today we are here in FSX Steam Edition and we are looking at the Republic RC-3 Seebee. First of all I want to say thank you very much to DoveTail Games for supplying the review copy of this wonderful little aircraft. It's an aircraft that's particularly close and tugs on quite a few heartstrings from a simulation perspective for myself. So you'll have to bear with me with this one. This one is kind of an emotional sort of review for me. So bear with me. It's a great aircraft to look at, but I'm going to go through and explain that to you a little bit later on. But we'll do the usual format as we do, folks. So we're going to have this quick inspection of the outside, the textures, have a look at the model outside, and then we're of course going to go and go for a quick test flight, and we're going to test out its amphibious capabilities on this one. So we're going to be sailing on land and we're going to be fishing in the water. Alright, so as I said, this is the Republic RC-3 Seebee, so now available on FSX Steam Edition. Has been available for FSX for a little while, but it's now graced its way onto our Steam Edition screens. And so we're going to have a look. So yeah, this is the outside model of it. It is kind of impressive. Like it's nothing too huge, but it picks up a lot of that feeling of the aircraft. Probably the one thing which I kind of was a little disappointed with. I think could have been done a little bit better with the bit mapping and stuff like that is the spars and the wings. So actually speaking, this aircraft, because it was designed in the to support post-war aviation and the belief by Republic and various other aviation companies that there was going to be a very high demand for private aircraft once pilots returned from the Second World War. There's this real big push to sort of make aviation and make it affordable to people, which is always a good thing. Shame it's not very affordable now, but anyway, one of the things is that it was designed without any wing wing ribs to sort of cut down on cost. Instead, it was its actual airfoil surface was corrugated, and although it's here, I think it doesn't quite, show off how corrugated it is. Like, don't get me wrong, the texture effect that's been put in there to sort of simulate it is quite nice, but it would have been really nice to actually have it as part of the model as well, to actually have the raised bumps and whatever. So I think that's a slight missed opportunity, but at the same time it's still looking pretty good as well. The visual textures in terms of the windows and the windscreens as well are not bad. Seem better, seem worse, but overall it's a nice little thing. It gives some great visibility though. So yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I really liking this the look of this aircraft. For those movie buffs out there, there was a movie actually that this aircraft was featured in. It was featured in one of the James Bond movies, and wonderfully enough, it's one of the liveries that actually gets included as part of this DLC, where you can actually fly the one that James Bond flew to find the man with the golden gun. So there you go. Alright, well that's enough of me waffling around about the outside. Just on a side note, so when your engine's shut down, parking brake on, all that kind of fun stuff, you get all the ground stuff as well. So you get the tie down ropes and you get the actual chocks being put in as well. So this is a nice, neat little thing. And of course, who wouldn't be wanting to go, out enjoying the coral seas and enjoying the atolls and going flying without a beautiful young lady sitting in the right-hand seat, of course. So nice little touch from the developers there. Nice little touch. All right, okay. So that's enough of me gasbagging about the outside. Let's jump into the business end, the cockpit as it were, and the office, and let's have a look, and we'll say hello to our lovely passenger there. Hello. Let's secure some doors and let's get ourselves underway. All right, shut our doors. There we go. All right. So now this cockpit looks basic, and that's because in real life it was very basic. As I said, it was designed initially designed in 1941, and later produced and did its first flight in 1943, sort of aimed for the post-war market. and the final production prototype for the RC-3, not the RC-1, was originally based on, flew in 1945. So it was designed to use minimal parts, minimal actual sort of gauges and stuff like that to actually make it a simple and affordable flying experience for all, to actually encourage this post-war or hoped-for perceived post-war boom in aviation. So it is fairly basic. So what we're going to do is we're going to get fired up here. So let's put our master switch on. Now we'll put our battery on. Yep, good there. Okay, parking brakes on. Turn light on. Don't need instrument lights on for now. Running lights. Turn them on. Alright, let's get our magnetos up and running and press the starter. There we go. You can see we are up and running. And all our ground equipment's of course hovered away. Now, just as a cool thing that I want to show off on this one, this is, these are, again, anybody who's seen my reviews have always said I like the small details. See this. It's got this little engine in there, and engines vibrate. That's what they do. And it's actually got an example of that. You can actually see the exhaust actually sort of vibrating with the engine, and you know what? That is just cool. Like, as I said, it's the small little things that actually go a long way to improving our in-flight and in-game experience. So I'm really glad that got modelled in there. So, alright, okay. Now, enough of that. Let us jump up into our ready to fly. Alright. So, brakes off. There we go. Alright. And we're over in Lanai in Hawaii at the moment, is where we are. We're going to go for I thought it was a very apt place to go through, and I'll explain more of that in just a moment once we get airborne. So we're going to taxi. As you can see, amazing visibility out of this cockpit, and yeah. So, and with the history of this aircraft, as I say, it was built for a hoped for boom in personal aviation post World War II. However, it never really accumulated, despite this aircraft being very, very affordable. All the aircraft manufacturers, Piper, Cessna, and Republic, all had issues with sales. Interesting enough, though, this was still actually one of the most successful. The only one who was more successful than Republic with the RC-3 Seebee, which produced and sold over 1,060 units in its time before finally. Yeah, and by the way, be very careful on the brakes. You're very nose heavy. You tend to rock like that, so we'll be very gentle on the brakes next time. Anyway, so whew, that could have been really awkward. Okay, now, we ready? Yes, I think our passenger's ready. Alright, I'll continue my story once we're in the air. Alright, flaps down a notch. And let's go. Now, don't ride the brakes when you're powering up for this one. Let's let it go. Right of there, just keep us on the straight and level. I felt the tail coming up. And up we go. Ah, so beautiful. And gear coming up. Ah. Just so relaxing, and she just purrs. She really does, and just that, just softly getting into the air and just really feeling that sensation of flying. It really is beautiful. But yeah, as I was saying, the aircraft in Republic produced 1,060 of these aircraft to meet orders and productions, whatever. Finally, having the production line closed in 1947, owing to a lack of orders. Interesting enough, though, the only people to outsell them was Piper with their venerable J3 Cub Cub and Super Cub series was the only ones that actually sort of did end up outselling the Republic Seebee, and other manufacturers all sort of scaling down and relying on military contracts for many years, or trying to go into the commercial market. So it still holds a very significant place in general aviation history, not only in the US, but really in the world as well. So it is a very popular aircraft. In fact, it was so popular that it actually is, to this day, there's over 200 of them still registered on the FAA's current list of current aircraft. So it is still flying to this day, 50, 60 years on, it's still flying, and more are being registered all the time as various ones get refurbished, or various wrecks get cannibalized for parts to make an airworthy airframe. So yeah, it's an aircraft that's still serving very well, and is still operating very nicely in this modern day and age. So you can see we've got the, of course when we took off we had the gear come up for this one, so it is an amphibian, so it is able to operate from the ground and sea. One thing I've always particularly loved about this aircraft is how the tail wheel actually sort of folds in. It doesn't fold up with the aircraft or anything like that. It actually sort of just cocks itself to one side. You can imagine like a dog or something. You just sort of go, yeah, I'm just going to tuck myself this side, and there you go. And with the main gear, it's just folding straight up. So, as I said, very simple, easy design, but it has because of that simplicity and because of that ruggedness. It's one of the reasons it's a testament to its success and the fact that they are still flying today. So, yeah, it's a pretty nifty, cool little aeroplane, and it's got that nice sort of pop culture survival as well. Now, we're just going to go do for an amphibious landing here in just a moment, but as we sort of descend some altitude for that, I want to explain why this particular review and this particular aircraft actually holds a bit of significance for me, and from a simulation perspective, and why we are actually doing this flight in Hawaii and not anywhere else we could have gone. Look, it's because this aircraft, this exact model, was originally intended to be the first piece of non-Microsoft DLC for Microsoft Flight, the simulator that never was, so to speak. And it was a great shame to see that simulator died the death that it did. But anyway, that's a whole nother issue, and there are videos galore about that on my channel. So if you're interested to hear my thoughts about it, please have a look at those videos. But anyway, I won't harp on that too much. But yeah, this was going to be the first piece of non-Microsoft DLC that was going to be released for Flight, and it was going to be outstanding. We saw that there were screenshots of it. It was pretty much ready to ship when Microsoft made the fateful decision to actually go, no, you know what, guys, we're just going to pull the pin completely, and just no, we're just not going to have Microsoft Flight anymore. So the developers, instead of throwing away all their hard work, went, okay, well, you know what, let's see what we can do and see if we can make this into an FSX product, which they did. And they very successfully brought it to FSX, which was great to see, and now we get to enjoy it. And now, of course, it's made the continued migration onto FSX Steam Edition, so we're able to enjoy it once again in the beautiful Steam Edition skies. So there we go. Alright, so we've got some flaps down. We're going to come on landing on this beautiful bit of stretch of the Pacific here, offshore, but just want to sort of show it off, so haha. Now, full flaps, go, coming down, nearly there. And there we go, down we are. This is what I love. It's just, amphibians are just cool. Like, amphibians really are. They just are plain awesome. They really are. And they're just, not given enough credit for what they are. I just think they're so much fun. Like, it really sort of appeals to me. I mean, unfortunately, where I live, I do live close to the water. So for me, the idea of having an amphibian to be able to sort of, go, let's just go, oh, I feel like going for a fly today. I don't have to worry about going to the airport. No, I can actually just simply go down to the local boat ramp, push my aircraft in the water, and there I have it. So yeah, it is pretty cool like that. So yeah, just want to show that off. Alrighty, well folks, thank you very much for tuning in for this little review of the Republic RC-3 Seebee for FSX Steam Edition. It is a lot of fun for me. I'm glad you've enjoyed it as well. I think this is a cool little add-on. Look, and as I said, I want to make something clear. It is not, you know, the oh my god, it is absolutely going to be, you know, earth-shattering realism and stuff like that. But at the same time, this makes a great touring aircraft, and if you want to get your water skills up on something other than the default, you can't probably go much wrong with this. It is pretty cool. And we've got the little anchor that we've just popped out there, so there you go. Alright folks, well thanks very much once again for joining me this one. Thank you again to DoveTail Games for providing me the review copy of this wonderful little amphibian. Now don't forget, as always folks, to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying these videos. And of course, you can always find out all the things that I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search Novawing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.